You may call your next witness.
Thank you, sir.
One second. If I may have just a quick second.
Go ahead.
The defense will call Steven Guth.
I believe one of my assistants went to retrieve Detective Guth, Your Honor.
Thank you. Right. Good morning, Detective Guth. If you would, as you are, come to the witness stand, remain standing, raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. Please state your first and last name for the record, or names, I should say.
Steven Guth, Stevenguth.
Go ahead, sir. You're witness.
How long have you been in law enforcement?
Over 20 years.
And how long have you been a detective?
Just over 7 years.
Directing your attention to the evening of November 21st of 2021. Do you recall that evening?
I do.
And were you on duty that evening?
Not initially.
For more clarification, what do you mean by not initially?
It was a regular off day for me, but I received notification to respond to the police department for the mass casualty incident in the downtown area of Waukesha.
So at that point, I'm assuming you were dispatched to that location?
I was not dispatched. I received a Signal message. We use Signal. It's an app that's used that we can share information for investigations. And I received a Signal message that this tragedy just happened.
And so what did you do from that point?
I immediately dropped my wife and kids off and responded to the parade.
And when you got to the parade, what did you do at that point?
I went to the downtown area to assess and see what I could help with.
At some point during your investigation, did you make contact with the woman by the name of Erica Patterson?
Yes.
And what was the nature of that part of your investigation?
I wanted to speak with Erica Patterson because by that point, when I made contact with our command center, they had learned the name of Darrell Brooks and had learned that Erica Patterson was the estranged girlfriend of the suspect of this investigation.
You made reference to a estranged girlfriend. What do you mean?
I don't know if I should answer that.
I think the question was pertaining to the word estranged, but we'll move on.
The jury will disregard that last question, that it's been withdrawn. And the statement made by Detective Guth following that.
I'm assuming at some point you took a statement from Ms. Patterson?
I did.
Do you recall if it was recorded, written, you writing it? What was the nature of how the report was taken?
Well, her words were spoken and they were recorded, and then I prepared a report.
Did you prepare the report that same evening?
No.
When did you prepare the report?
Sometime after the 22nd of November.
Why not the same evening?
Because after I spoke with her, I wanted to go back and speak with her again.
Did you obtain any statements from any other people that may have been involved with Ms. Patterson?
I did not.
Do you know, to your recollection, if any other officers have taken statements from parties that may have been involved with Ms. Patterson?
Well, the night of November 21st, 2021, I did have a partner with me, another detective.
Do you recall him talking to any other parties that may have been involved with Ms. Patterson?
Well, the detective that was with me was a female, Detective Barron.
The question was, do you know if your partner had any interactions with parties that may have been involved with Ms. Patterson?
I don't believe so.
Hold on,
but
are
I
you
can't-
specifically referring to a date certain or just in general?
I think it was clear.
I need it clear for the record,
The
though.
date would be
On the
November
21st?
21st
Okay,
of 2021.
thank you with that clarification.
No, I don't believe so.
Did you learn at any point that there may have been other parties involved with Ms. Patterson?
In which incident?
I'm referring again to November 21st of 2021.
Yes.
Do you recall who those parties were?
Corey Runkle and Nicholas Kirby.
Did you yourself speak with either of those parties, Nicholas Kirby or Corey Runkle?
No, I did not.
Do you recall if your partner spoke with any of those parties?
Which partner?
I'm guessing the female partner that you made reference to.
No, she did not.
And in that recorded interview with Ms. Patterson, what did you learn about the evening of November 21st, 2021?
Which recording?
Are there multiple recordings?
Yes.
What did you learn about the evening of November 21st, 2021 from both recordings with Ms. Patterson?
Your Honor, I'm going to object at this point, as this testimony covers ground that was very clearly covered during the state's case in chief.
I'll give Mr. Brooks some leeway. You are asking for hearsay, though. You understand that.
I asked him, what did he learn?
Fair enough. Go ahead. You may answer.
I learned several things. Initially, I think is what you were getting at. Ms. Brooks wanted to report that she was injured by Darrell Brooks on November 20th, which would have been Saturday. She stated that she met with Mr. Brooks at Frame Park, and they were arguing over the fact that she did not give him money, and he injured her by slapping her in the mouth and punching her in the eye. The next day, I went back and talked to her again, and she clarified that that actually did not happen on the 20th. It happened on the 21st, and that she got in a motor vehicle with him over the same argument. He was mad that she did not provide him with money. He proceeded to try to take her phone because he thought she was talking to other guys. Slapped her in the mouth, punched her in the eye. She jumped out of the motor vehicle because she feared for her safety and made her way back towards Frame Park. While walking back towards Frame Park, she was calling her friends, Corey Runkle and Nicholas Kirby, to come help her. When she arrived back near Frame Park in front of White Rock School, there was a confrontation in front of White Rock School with Mr. Brooks, Erica Patterson, Corey Runkle, and Nicholas Kirby, where there was some kind of shoving match, and that's when Mr. Brooks got back into the motor vehicle and took off down White Rock towards Main Street. Erica Patterson then made her way back towards the Women's Center.
You made reference to being told about an incident from Saturday, November 20th. And then stating that in the second interview, Ms. Patterson stated that didn't happen. Is that correct?
She didn't state that it didn't happen. She just stated that she didn't drive around with him on Saturday, November 20th. But she also met with him and was slapped in the mouth that day, too.
If it pleases the court, I have a document here I would like to show the witness.
All right, if the bailiff could hand it to the state first to look at it. You may use the document camera if that's hooked up. Otherwise, the bailiff can take it to the witness.
Before we go through that process, I'm going to object. Maybe
Let me see the document.
Yeah.
All right, and give that back to Mr. Brooks. Given the content of that document, I'll sustain the objection, or what that document is, I should say.
Sustained on what grounds?
It's not relevant, yep, to this witness's testimony.
How is it not relevant?
It's not relevant.
You made reference to November 20th. That's what this document is talking about.
It's not relevant to the charges at issue. We can take it up later, and if need be, I'll let you recall the witness, but I'm directing you to move on to a new topic.
Your Honor, I'm going to respectfully object to that and ask for a finding of fact.
The objection's noted. It's sustained. Well, their objection's sustained. Yours is overruled. Please continue.
Is Is that noted for the record? I would like a written finding of fact.
The request is denied. Keep going, please.
Denied on what grounds, on what lawful law?
Keep going, sir. It's not relevant.
Are you making a judicial determination that you don't have to answer that question as a public servant?
Sir, I've ruled on the objection. It's on the record. Please keep going.
Once again, information that needs to be known is being hidden.
It's not relevant, sir. Please
It's
continue.
very relevant. He just opened the door on that by saying November 20th.
Objection. Move to strike all of the comments made by Mr. Brooks in the last 20 seconds or so, especially with regard to any implication that he hasn't had all of the discovery material.
Objection, I never made any
Prior to
mention
trial.
of not having any discovery material. That never
The
was
jury will
stated.
just disregard, as I've told the jury repeatedly, comments made or statements made by the parties, whether they be lawyers or the parties themselves, are not evidence, and you're to disregard them and not consider them in any way. And if the statement suggested facts that are not in evidence, you should not consider that in any way either. All right, go ahead. Your next question, please.
So is it fair to say that in your report you referenced 2 incident reports?
Objection. This
Grounds.
witness wrote.
I'm going to overrule
Fine.
the objection and let the witness answer it. I think it might just be semantics at this point, but go ahead and ask your
You
question.
need semantics.
I think you were referring to that he had 2.
That's what his report says. He makes reference to two reports, 2 incidents.
2 incidents,
Yes.
not 2 incident reports. Reports would be separate documents. That's what I'm talking about. With that understanding that you're referring to, and I think you're referring to incidents with Ms. Patterson, correct?
Yes.
Go ahead. Ask your question. I think that clarifies so that the witness can answer.
Let me back up. You wrote your own report. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And in your report, you referred to 2 incidents. Would that be fair to say?
Just to clarify, which report are you speaking about? I wrote several reports.
The one written November 22nd of 2021.
I do reference 2 reports and 1 CAD call.
What was the last part? Cat call?
A CAD call, yes.
What do you mean cab call?
Not CAD.
CAD.
C-A-D.
CAD.
A CAD call.
What do you mean CAD call? What?
That's a call for service that does not generate a police report.
And what was that CAD call?
That was a call for service near Frame Park for a fight involving potentially a domestic related incident.
Do you recall any other details about that CAD call?
There wasn't much in it because the officer had to leave to go to the parade.
Do you recall a mention of a knife during that CAD call?
Yes.
To the best of your recollection, do you recall anyone recovering a knife or you yourself recovering a knife?
There was no knife involved in that incident through my investigation of the report that you have.
But it is fair to say that that's how the CAD call went out, that there was potentially a knife fight.
That's how it was initially, I believe, reported or communicated through dispatch to the officers that responded.
made reference, and I'm referring to the second interview with Ms. Patterson. You made reference in your report that in the previous interview that Ms. Patterson was not completely forthright. What exactly do you mean by not completely forthright?
She did not give me all the details of the incidents to me initially.
Do you recall why?
I don't know why she didn't.
So it'd be fair to say that Ms. Patterson had been untruthful with you in the first interview.
No, she told me she was extremely afraid of you. And that's why she didn't want to tell me everything.
Well, you just stated that you didn't know why she was not forthright.
I can't read her mind, but that's what she told me.
At any time during your investigation in regards to the incidents with Ms. Patterson, did you at any time see interviews that were conducted with Nicholas Kirby and Corey Runkle?
What do you mean by see them?
Had you seen any statements made by those two parties?
No.
Would it be fair to say, assuming that those two parties were present for the incident on the evening of November 21st of 2021, would it be fair to say that at some point they were interviewed by law enforcement officers, to your recollection?
Yes.
And you've never seen any of those interviews?
They weren't video recorded.
Had you seen any written statements from them or report from law enforcement?
I received a summary of what they stated verbally from another detective, yes.
So it'd be fair to say you did have knowledge of what they said transpired on November 21st of 2021.
I had knowledge of what they said. I didn't see anything. Correct.
And to the best of your recollection, seeing what those two parties had said, what do you recall?
Objections.
Grounds.
Evidence. You didn't see what they said, and also calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
What did you read
Objection.
from those statements given by those two parties?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Grounds.
Sustain.
Grounds for the sustain.
Calls for hearsay.
One second. Do you recall what officer took those statements from Nicholas Kirby and Corey Runkle in relation to the incident on November 21st of 2021?
Yes. Yes.
And what law enforcement officer was that?
Detective Van Els.
And after that report that you wrote on November 22nd of 2021, was that the end of your investigation into the incident of November 21st of 2021?
No.
And what was the extent of your investigation after November 22nd of 2021?
Judge, I'm going to object. Well, on the defendant's behalf, I believe here, based on some previous rulings the court has made.
Sustained.
And did you speak with Ms. Patterson again after filing your report?
Yes.
In reference to the incident from November 21st of 2021?
I don't understand your question.
Did you speak with Ms. Patterson after you filed your report in relation to the incident from November 21st of 2021?
No.
in relation to the alleged incident on November 20th of 2021. Do you know if that alleged incident ever took place?
Objection.
Grounds.
Calls for hearsay, lack of personal knowledge.
Well, you reported it.
It also goes to one of the ultimate issues that the jury will need to determine, so it's sustained.
No questions, no further questions right now at this time.
All right, thank you. Any cross?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
May have something later for that particular witness.
All right, I'll try to raise that on an appropriate break. Call your next witness, please.
Is there only one witness left?
Yes. For that, yes, for that time. Yes. I
No
believe.
one else is here?
No, it's not 10:30 yet.
Who's supposed to come in 10:30, Your Honor?
Call your next witness, please. I don't have that list right at my fingertips.
You said what happened?
I don't have that list right at my fingertips, but I know there's a witness available, so please call your next witness.
Can I be provided that 10:30 list?
Does the state have that? You could pass it over. I don't have that at my fingertips.
Sure, let me jot it. I have it, but I'll write it up for Mr. Brooks to review, Your Honor.
Thank you. While we're doing that, if the jurors want to stand for a minute, go ahead, or anyone else in the courtroom.
I set for value in return for value this paperwork.
Thank you. If everyone would have a seat then. Please call your next witness.
And who determined this order?
Mr. Brooks, I'll take up that issue outside the presence of the jury later. If there's a witness available, please call the witness.
That's not the witness that was intended to be called at this time.
I understand that, sir. Under 906.11, I have the authority and the discretion on that, so please call the witness who's available.
So I'm being rushed to judgment.
No, sir, I'm trying to have an effective and efficient use of all of our time. We So please call the witness.
Which is respected, but at the same time, being that this is my time
Right,
to
I'm going to
present my
excuse the
defense.
jury for right now. I'll rise for the jury, please. All right, thank you. Be seated. Mr. Brooks, under 90611, I do have the authority and just my inherent authority over this case to require you to call the next available witness. You, in my opinion, were not entirely cooperative yesterday with the process, and so I told you that 3 witnesses would come in at 8:30, 2 would come in at 10:30, 2 would come in at 1:30, 2 would come in at 3:30, and then if there were any left, I wasn't sure if there were or not, would come in at 4.
You also didn't provide me with that list,
You were advised on the record,
but
sir.
you didn't provide it to me.
Sir, you chose not to write down. So that's on you, not me.
Nah, that's
So
no. You
here's
can't.
the
That's
thing.
a rush to
Erica
judgment.
Patterson is here, so I'm advising you that she will be the next witness that you call if you so choose. If you choose not to call her right now, then I'm releasing her from the subpoena because we have almost 45 minutes until 10:30, just slightly under that. And there's no reason for you not to call her. She's on your list. She was on the listing as I understand it, the groupings of 3, Tuesday
That you
morning,
understand it.
Tuesday afternoon,
Did you
Wednesday
receive it?
morning, Wednesday afternoon, and so on and so forth. That's the order. I told you very specifically I'm not going to have everyone come in at one time because that's not efficient, that's not effective, and it's not courteous to them. People have families, people have jobs and other responsibilities, and we're trying to be mindful of all of that as well while having the state assist you in getting these people here. So I'm advising you that if you don't call her right now, you will forfeit your right to call her.
Is that lawful law?
Sir, I believe I have the authority to do that. She's here. She's ready to go.
I'm just
She's
asking
your
the question.
witness.
I'm just asking the question. Is that lawful law?
I have the authority under 90611 and other rules and the inherent authority of this court to control the order and mode of interrogation
Your Honor,
of witnesses.
why is it always so hard to just say yes or no?
Yes,
Is it lawful
I have
law?
the authority, sir.
I'm not disputing that.
You just
I'm not disputing. No, I asked the question. Is it lawful law?
Sir, I've told you what I believe my authority is. Okay,
You
if
told
you
me
don't want
what
to
you-
recognize it,
you
that's
told
fine.
me
You
your
want to
authority.
object and note it, that's
Told me
fine.
your
Your
authority.
objection
I'm
is
not
noted
debating
on the record.
your authority. I'm not.
So I will address one other issue with you because you said you had an issue regarding the last witness, which is fine. We can address that quickly, and then I'm going to have the jury brought in, and that will be your opportunity to call
That's a
Ms.
misdirect.
Patterson.
That's a misdirect. What issue did I said I had with the
You
last?
said you wanted to raise
said-
an issue with about Detective
What I
Guth's
said was
testimony.
I might have more questions for that witness. I didn't say it was an issue.
Oh, I didn't hear that, sir. You had your opportunity to ask the witness questions. He's been released.
Your Honor, if I mumble something under my breath, somehow that's audible, but when I talk clearly, somehow
I may
nobody
have
hears
missed
me.
it, but I heard what I interpreted was when you said I may have an issue with this witness. I didn't understand. I guess I didn't take that as you were going to reserve your right to recall him. Are you telling me you'd like to reserve your right to recall Detective Guth?
Yes.
All right, then that will be noted. and we'll keep him under the subpoena. Now, that should address that. I'll have the jury brought back in, and you should be prepared if you choose to call Ms. Patterson. This is your opportunity to do it.
At the same time, though, that's still a rush to judgment, Your Honor. You can't. I shouldn't be forced to call people in the order that I'm being told to when these are my witnesses.
You did not want to provide us with the order, and I respected that, Mr. Brooks.
But I said that.
And
from the
so
beginning.
then I asked
Your
you
Honor,
to put
with
him
all
in
respect,
blocks.
with all respect, did I not inform Your Honor and the court that I would not give a specific order? I stated that numerous times.
And Mr. Brooks,
Numerous
I
times.
have authority to tell you otherwise. You
I
may
did.
not like it. You may
I did.
disagree with it.
It's not
You
about
have
that.
been-
It's about the rush
you
to
have not
judgment,
been
Your Honor.
cooperating with this process. The
There's
state
nothing
has
to cooperate
graciously
with.
agreed to assist you given your custodial status.
Okay, and I never
and
asked them to
frankly,
do
any
that.
attorney in this
I
situation
never asked them to do that, Your Honor.
would give us the order.
Did I or did I not? Did I ask them to do that? I did not ask them to do that. They
No,
volunteered.
They offered.
So at the end of the day,
but we expect
If
your
they didn't want to do
cooperation in
it,
that.
yeah, but that wasn't one of the stipulations when they offered to do it, Your Honor. Let's
No, common courtesy is the stipulation.
okay,
sir.
but it
And-
wasn't
and here's the
stipulated
thing.
to, so I didn't have.
You are well advised of how this process was going to go.
No, I was not.
It is
Because
normal
if you
in a trial
you can't
to call
put the people
witnesses
you can't
out
put the
of
people
order
in a
based on
specific
their
spot for
availability.
me, Your Honor. Come on now.
That it is.
That's a rush to judgment.
There's no rush to judgment here. You
Did
keep
the
saying
state
that, sir,
have to
but
put
that's
their
not the
witnesses?
case.
Your Honor, with all due respect, did the state have to put their witnesses in order and tell me?
It's irrelevant what the state did.
Did they have to do that?
They didn't need your assistance to do that.
Did they have to do it?
No, they did not.
I don't have to be
do it.
provided with. We're going to call this witness at this time,
But they're
and this
able
witness at this
to
time.
contact
They
their
didn't have to do that,
witnesses
so why should I have to
and
do that?
accommodate their schedules. This is not about you. It's not about the state. It's about the witnesses'
It's about what's fair.
availability.
It's about what's fair.
No, frankly, sir, it's about you trying to control what's happening in this court.
How am I controlling what's happening? I'm the one shackled to the table with
So
a
here's the
with a shock
situation.
device
It is
on my ankles.
9:52.
So how's I'm trying to control anything?
I'm having
I just
to-
want this
I'm
to be
going
fair,
to-
and it hasn't been fair.
Mr. Brooks, it's fair.
No, it's not. If I have to do something that they don't have to do, how's that fair?
It's fair.
Explain to me how
because
that's
of
fair.
the process that has been set up to, frankly, help you. get
No,
the
it's not
witnesses
helping me by
to
it's helping
court.
the state
And no.
by being able to say if we know the time and we know
You
the
did
person
not-
and
I
we know this,
asked you-
then we can be prepared. So we'll already be ready.
Mr. Brooks,
That was
I
the
asked
whole
you
aim of that.
yesterday, and I would have had her come in later. You didn't want to answer that question.
There was no
And
question. There was no question to answer.
That's not
I
true.
did what you asked me to do, Your Honor. You
No, you
said
didn't.
yes, you did. You did. You asked me to give them my witness
Mr.
list.
Brooks,
I gave them
yesterday-
my witness list.
Yesterday,
It's not my fault.
I very
It's not my fault they
expressly-
weren't going to be prepared to
Mr.
do
Brooks,
their
here's the
to
deal.
do
The
their
jury's
cross.
coming out, and I'm going to stand my ground on this.
I'm going to
Okay,
stand my
it
ground
is-
too, but I'm
if
not
you
going. I'm not
don't
going to
call
be
her-
disrespectful or disruptive.
If you
I'm just
don't
stating I
call
wanted to be
her
fair.
When the jury comes back out, I'm releasing her from the subpoena.
You can't do that.
For your
Where's
lack
the
of
lawful law?
cooperation.
Where's the lawful law? I have the right to
You
witnesses,
have to cooperate with this process,
but I
sir.
also have the Sixth Amendment right.
We have a witness available for you to call. I can require
It's
you
not
to
the
call
witness
her
that
right
should have
now.
been called at this time, Your Honor.
It is based on the list that you provided and
That didn't
in the
have a
order.
time. That didn't have a time or of
I'm not going to
or
play
order.
this game with you, sir.
It's not no game. That's
It
what
was-
you don't
it
seem
is
to
a game
understand.
you. I believe that fully.
I don't care what you believe fully.
All right.
It's not a game.
We.
I don't take this as
asked
a
you-
game. That's what
Let me explain
nobody.
this to you
That's what
once
nobody.
again.
You don't got to explain nothing to me.
Do you want?
That's what you don't understand. You think
you
that
want
this
the
is a whole
opportunity
game
to
to me.
question?
This is not a game to me, Your Honor. Nothing about this is a joke.
I never
That's
said
what
it
y'all
was a
don't
joke.
understand.
But there's
And it's
some things in the
unfair.
ship
It's
that's going
unfair
on.
and it's disrespectful to me that you think I would come in here purposely and treat this like a joke or a game.
I never said it was a
What
joke.
type of statement is that?
Mr.
Your life is not on the line. Mine is. And you think that I think this is funny?
I don't think it's funny whatsoever.
So
And I understand.
think, Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you should show
we're
some
going to take
respect.
a 5-minute break, and when we come back, the jury's coming out, and you need to call your next witness. Thank you. We are in
Nah,
recess.
you're not rushing me to judgment. I don't care what you're talking about.